So what anyone's watching this film, the first thing they can think of is this is a massive film. How did that start? Did you pitch this, or was it presented to you?
No, so Sam, this film probably started when Sam was 10 years old. It's inspired by stories Sam's grandfather, Alfred Mendes, told him about the First World War. And in particular, one story about Alfred carrying a letter through no man's land, you know, just a messenger lost in the fog. And so that really was the first kind of image that Sam told me about when we sat down to write it. So it was really, it's not the story of Sam's grandfather, but it's inspired by the stories Sam's grandfather told.
So how much research did you have to do for making a film set during this time?
A huge amount of research.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think you owe it to the men that fought in that war to do the research. It had to feel like reality. We were really very conscious that we were telling other people's stories in a way, and that we had a duty to get it right. So there was a huge amount of research. I grew up absolutely fascinated by the two world wars, so I already had a working knowledge of it politically and sort of like the big levels. But for this, because we knew it was going to be very character driven and intimate, we went through hundreds of first-hand accounts. I read war diaries. I went to the Imperial War Museum and actually, you know, sat and read the diaries that were there in France. I even listened to the veterans telling their own stories that had been recorded in the 1960s, which were, I mean, such an incredible experience, because obviously all the veterans are dead now. There's no access to that really other than those recordings. And then I went to France. I drove around the Somme. I took the exact route the boys would take in the film. And I spent about 3 weeks out there really heavily researching and just taking in the atmosphere of the place.
So growing up, when you think of a screenwriter, you think they write a script, they send it off, the film's made. But I've learned growing up, screenwriters are much more involved in the making of the film. Did you spend a lot of time on set?
Yeah, I was on set every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every day I was in 6 months of rehearsals as well. With the nature of this film, because it is one shot, or it's the appearance of one shot, there's no traditional edit. I mean, there's a huge amount of editing. Lee Smith is the MVP of this movie, actually, and he's sort of kind of unnoticeable, his work in it. But yeah, there is no traditional edit. There's no final rewrite, as they call the edit. And so we had to get it right first time on set. And so there would be days when words just wouldn't be working, lines just wouldn't work, or lines weren't even needed. And so I was there to just, you know, rewrite, add more, take away.
I was going to ask if there were a lot of script changes on set.
There were some. I mean, the script was really honed in the rehearsal period. The structure of the script is actually the same since the first time Sam and I sat down. That's never changed. The journey they go on is the same journey, but the dialogue, the characters, the movement was often refined in the rehearsal period, and then I guess sometimes just polished on set.
So when you were writing these two characters, were you envisioning someone like George and Dean, or did they just kind of happen organically?
Well, I didn't know they were going to be cast in those roles. I don't even know if Sam knew they were going to be cast in those roles. They were found with the casting director, Nina Gold, in an audition process. You dream of having actors as talented and as kind of natural as the two of them to tell your story. I mean, in an ideal world, I would have known, but I had no idea, and I didn't know we would get so lucky.
Right. So I know you're probably very busy, but do you have a favorite film that you've seen this year?
Oh, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit?
Love Jojo Rabbit.
It's very good.
I'm slightly biased because Thomas Mackenzie, who's incredible, and that is in my other movie I wrote for Edgar Wright, Last Night in Soho. So I went to see it because obviously I think she's an incredible actress. But I mean, what Taika did, the entire cast is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's what a clever film, what an amazing adaptation, and completely not what you think it's going to be.
Absolutely. Well, Krysty, it's been a real pleasure.
It's such a pleasure. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.